Morning, Chris. You all right?
Yeah, morning, Tim.
A special night on Wednesday. What does that do for confidence, belief, mindset within the group, and potentially for your season?
I'm sure will give us a huge boost. We've talked all along about belief and confidence, and obviously we've taken major hits along the way this season. I think more in the manner of the results, not the manner of the performances. Really, the late goals, the individual errors, the not taking the big moments, which I imagine everybody's bored of me of saying. But yeah, we did on Wednesday night, and it can only help. Can only help the players in their quest to put in big performances and gain big results, because it certainly can't be a one-off if we want to make it uncomfortable for the teams above.
When you've had so many blows, when things have gone wrong and everything seems to have been against you, what does a result like that do in terms of the mindset of the players? Does it feel as though maybe the tide is turning a little bit and you are getting a little bit back from some of the bad luck you had earlier in the season?
Yeah, I wouldn't go all along with the luck situation, Tim. You know, it's self-inflicted when you don't take those big moments in and out of possession. So that hurts us. And I've said all along about the brutality of the league and how it punishes you. The other stuff, you know, as you saw on Wednesday night, the strength of our squad, we're down to bare bones. That's possibly the more luck situation that we've been on the receiving end of. But there's been a lot of fight in the boys. You know, in terms of enthusiasm, in terms of being competitive, in terms of making those games as close as we possibly can against world-class players and international players on the whole. But to get a big result like that, yeah, as I've said, doesn't do you any harm, and hopefully they can use that as an inspiration to go to the league leaders on a Wednesday night in the situation that we were, position-wise, points-wise, squad depleted, and pull off it's a fabulous result for us. You know, it was going to be we had a few things to go for us, obviously, in these games when you're playing the likes of Manchester United and the big teams, and obviously same on Saturday for us to get a result. I play at the top of our game and take those tiny moments if we get them, and obviously out of possession have to be incredibly tight and good to stop a team that's banging form from taking the game away from us.
It is the relentless nature of the Premier League that you've got Manchester City.
Dear me.
How do you go about getting a result there? Is it adopting similar principles as Wednesday night, or will it be a different challenge?
The challenge is the same right the way through. I think you see our last three games now after the Man City game. You know, two Manchester clubs. One's at the top of the league and one's was at the top of the league. One's won trophies left, right, and centre. The team that we're playing Saturday, a Spurs team that obviously all the players and the manager that they have, and obviously Manchester United who are desperate to get back to winning trophies, and I'm sure they will under Ollie and the players that they've got. So this is it. This is the relentless nature of the division, and as I said before the game, and not being disrespectful to where our players, majority of the players, have come from, and myself included. You know, when you do look down at the fixture list on over sort of Tuesday and Wednesday nights. There's a lot of places that maybe you wouldn't have wanted to be, and one place that I would want to be is at Old Trafford, slugging it out against the best, and it's going to be the same on Saturday against Manchester City. You know, in terms of approach to the game, we're not all of a sudden thinking that we're going to Man City and we turn up and it's our game to lose, Tim, as you can obviously expect. The team that we're up against, the manager, the quality that they've got, and it's great recently that they've hit top speed in it. But as I said, it's the nature of the league, and we'd love to be in this position next year, going to Old Trafford and going to the Etihad. But there's an incredible amount of work still to be done if we're going to make that possible.
Final one from me. I know you've not had anything to say on transfers so far. Do you expect anything to happen before Monday's deadline?
I've not got anything to say on transfers so far.
Cheers, Chris.
Cheers, Tim.
Hi, Chris. A few updates on players. I mean, first of all, you're going to be able to fill your bench this weekend.
We'll try. There's some boys having late fitness tests as well, so we'll look at that. Obviously, disappointing to lose Ender Stevens and a couple of the others pretty late on. Yeah, we'll try. We'll try to do that, and obviously that's my decision. Who makes the bench in conjunction with the medical department. It's not always as straightforward because we have to take we can't just take this is the last game of the season gamble approach. There's still 19 games to go, 18 games to go. I've lost track. We have to look at that as well and come with sensible decisions regarding who's available and who we can involve.
Ender Stevens, how long's he likely to be out for?
Hopefully not a great amount of time. We're assessing that. I've got to say, I'm going to straight back it, Adam, regarding all the injuries. I'm not going to be an open book and tell you when they're all coming back. I'm going to keep my cards close to my chest. But obviously, we're working extremely hard with the players and the attitude of the players and their mindset is that they want to be back involved and be part of it.
So Ben Osborne, Ollie McBurney, Keane Bryan, you're not going to say whether they're going to be available this weekend or not. There we go. Cards very close to your chest. Fair enough. In terms of the recent run, it's now 4 wins from 5. Can you see your players gradually increasing their form and their standards?
Obviously, 2 of those games, Adam, against League One opposition, but we played well for the majority of those games. Played well against Newcastle. In periods, as we talked about against Tottenham, it wasn't an horrific performance as some have made out it to be. And obviously at Old Trafford, you don't get that result by having 5, 6s and 7s out of 10s. The old group played really well and had to do to get a result. So they've got to go again at the Etihad on Saturday afternoon for us to give ourselves the smallest of opportunities of getting a result.
Clearly, everybody played well in the week, but in terms of Phil Jagielka and Keane Bryan, a couple of players that have sort of really had to wait the chance this season. How impressed, particularly with them, were you?
I think it's ridiculously difficult for those players that have not played a lot of football, Adam, because they would usually play behind closed doors games and play against competitive games against teams in and around this area, which we have done for the last 2 or 3 years. Without going too deep into it, obviously, the reserve league now is changed to the 23s, and the limited time we can give those players, and plus the fact that Phil's had the virus, Keane's had injury issues. To talk about just both of them in isolation, and then go just weighing it all up, wanting to play a strong side against Plymouth from a confidence point of view, wanting to play a strong side against Bristol Rovers for a confidence point of view. Maybe if it was a different situation, then maybe they would have got game time there. But so these are all the things that I'm juggling with juggling the balls with all the time. So we knew possibly Keane had sort of 50, 55 minutes in him, which he did remarkably well, considering the opposition that he's up against. And I think everybody afterwards was delighted for Phil. I don't think he'll mind me saying where he's at in his career. I'm sure he understands that maybe there's not going to be many more trips to Old Trafford as a player in him, and for him to take that opportunity and lead us in the way that he did was brilliant. And can't speak highly enough of him. What work that he does, not on the pitch on match days, has been invaluable. The only one on Wednesday night with consistent Premier League experience, and he used all that Premier League experience against some fabulous players to give us the opportunity of getting a result.
I mean, one player who's at the other end of his journey is Ethan Ampadu. Is he starting to show why he's so highly rated?
Well, yeah, I mean, we bring good players into the football club. The season, I keep saying, has not been decided on us signing young players. That was the situation that we were in. I think it's been well documented where we were at. In terms of us not being able to compete for experienced Premier League players. It's as simple as that. So we went down this road, and when we signed these young players, everybody said, they're good young players to sign, and that's a good bit of business. But football ain't straightforward, as I've always said. There's always an instant reaction to things, which I understand, but that was the situation that we were in, and we all understood that, and looked at these young players, whether it was loan signing Ethan, whether it was the 4 young players that we signed. That was where we were at as a football club. And as well, I've got to say, there was loads of clubs in for Ethan. There was loads of clubs in for Rammers. There was loads of clubs in for Rhian Brewster. And there was a lot of clubs that would have done the Jayden Bogle, Max Lowe deal. I know that. So for us to beat off those challenges was good from our point of view. The second bit, though, is that, for me, as I've said all along, and I know people have, pundits and supporters will have opinions regarding our young players, which they always will do, and I understand. But this is not the reason that we're in a position. This is not the reason. No, look at the manager. Has he picked the right side? Look at the experienced players. Have they played to the best of their ability? Look at the injuries that we've had. Look at the opportunities that we've not taken, big moments. And as well, people are incredibly respecting the game, have looked at our journey this season, and incredibly respected managers. Jose Mourinho, what he said. Pep Guardiola, what he said. Jurgen Klopp, what he said. Roy Hodgson, what he said, anomaly, that we're in this position. We can't get away from it. It's a desperately disappointing scenario and situation that we've been in. But I keep saying, this is a whole responsibility from everybody. So from Ethan's point of view, he coming to the football club that we expect him to do a lot better. And obviously young players get affected by the team not playing well and all the things that I talk about. But when we do get in a little bit of a run and get a little bit of form back, then obviously part of that is going to be those young players playing well as well, to bringing that to the team and to open them. And I'm sure if we continue to play in the manner that we know we can play and get the results that we know we can get, then I'm sure you're going to see a lot more from Ethan Ampadu and the boys that I've mentioned.
In terms of Man City up next, you played them 3 times, obviously, already in the Premier League now. Close games in all of them, really. Do you take some encouragement from that going into this weekend's game?
I'll try. We'll try and take any encouragement on everything. We're honestly, we're brutally honest about our reflection on ourselves. Always brutally honest and what we could have done better. As a manager, I am. Always have been. As staff, we always are. And we're not just sitting here and saying, "Oh, it's them. It's over to them. We've not done this and we've not done that." We do. I think I live and breathe this job. Talking to my wife this morning about it, and she understands that, and we all do. We live and breathe it in good times and in the difficult situations that we're in. And we've made an incredible amount of games that we've played in this season close. I don't want to pat on the back for that. But there is some comfort that you can take from it when you look at the clubs that we're up against and the players that we're playing against, and we talk about the injury situation at Old Trafford and what we're up against that night. We talk about Premier League, and we talk about Phil Jagielka being the only really one with serious Premier League experience, and obviously we have to bring that to the table as well. So small things that we can take positives from, we will do. But I will say, Adam, and I keep saying it, we're not patting ourselves back on the back because we've run Man City close, or we've run Man United close, or we've run Liverpool close. But we're not getting smashed. It's not an embarrassment, in terms of score lines. We're not getting smashed. And in all games, we've given ourselves little opportunities to gain results, like we did at Old Trafford on Wednesday. So the performance against Manchester United was possibly no different to the performance when we played them at home. When we played them at home this season, I wouldn't say the away performance. I thought that was clear cut, a comfortable home win for Man U. And the two Manchester City games, we had opportunities last year before they scored that you have to take. Thankfully, fortunately, on Wednesday night we took them and we managed to keep them at bay. And these are the things that we're going to have to do right on Saturday. We're going to have to play fantastically well. We're going to have to take those moments. If we do get them, we're going to have to ride as luck, and we're going to have to play really well out of possession. And they don't have the day that they can potentially have, and what they do to the majority of teams in the Premier League.
Thanks, Chris. Good luck this weekend.
Cheers, Adam. Thanks.
Hi, Chris.
Ian.
How are you?
I'm all right, pal. You're flying, aren't you?
Absolutely. We're going to be Champions League.
Yeah, me.
Don't worry about that. I'm getting my passport ready. Can I ask you, do you think you're learning more this season out of adversity than in every season pretty much since you started managing, where you're winning titles and winning most weeks?
I'm not seeing, every season, every part of season. I'm not sitting at the end of the season last year thinking, well, that's me. I'm done. That's it. Possibly the opposite. You're always looking to use every experience to make you better. And I've reflected, of course, individually on this season, and I will do at the end of it the reflection. But you try and be consistent with your approach, your attitude, and use those experiences that I've had for a number of years to help you. But it's certainly, I think every manager will say, from a lot of aspects, it's certainly a different league, a different season to any other one that we've all had to go through. And obviously, from a points total, from my point of view, and the way the season's panned out, certainly a different season to I can ever remember.
Going up when you did, I think was ahead of most people's expectations for Sheffield United. So off the back of that, is this season a blip or a failure?
Well, we'll not know until the end of the season, Ian. That's as simple as it is. The club's priority, without being negative, is to stay in the division, as I've always said, possibly without a few clubs saying it because they get battered. But I'll have the balls to say it, that us staying in the Premier League is a a success, a huge success. And I think from our point of view, it would eclipse what we did last year, which was a fabulous achievement from our point of view. But I think 12 clubs, 11 clubs for a ball's kicked, they could get a guaranteed Premier League for the year afterwards, take that hands down, take 17th place. They might not say it to the supporters because they might get battered. And if I get bad for saying it, then fair enough. But I think it will do. And obviously the position that we're in now, of course it will do.
You say if you get battered, your supporters would ever batter you. You have this seemingly unique situation. I thought people like Frank Lampard had it until the beginning of the week, but obviously they don't. But you have this unique position whereby the fans are going to back you whatever, Chris.
I don't take that for granted, Ian. So, and it's been inspiring and I thank every one of them that have given me their sort of undivided support in turning this team from a team that was 11th in League One, 6 seasons in League One, into a team that's obviously in the Premier League, but they backed it all the way. But I understand in there will be criticism and opinion, and I incredibly respect that, and I don't take it for granted. But I do really appreciate it. But that can't last forever if whatever the situation scenario is. But I think that they do understand the situation that the football club is in, the journey that we've been on, and what we're up against. And maybe that does cuts me a little bit of slack, but I'd rather not have it. I'd rather be mid-table or whatever in the Premier League and working from that position. But we're not, and we'll give it a go.
How do you stop City? They haven't got Kevin De Bruyne, so I mean, you're the man.
Well, that makes it a load easier, Ian, doesn't it? That makes it unbelievably easier, doesn't it? So yeah, no, that's it then, innit? It's an away win. Yeah. Go on, just name another one. And then that make it a little bit easier.
Sergio Aguero.
Yeah, he's not. If he doesn't play, that makes it a lot easier.
There we go. I mean, you're practically back.
Their form's really dipped since them two have not been playing.
Okay, it's a rather silly question, but I mean, you're not gonna reveal your tactics.
I haven't got a clue. It was quite funny this actually. Robbie Savage was doing the. I know one of your rivals, mate, but BT were doing the coverage of the West Brom, and I think the commentator was saying, if Chris Wilder's watching this, how does he stop Man City? And Robbie Savage said, well, he'll come up with a plan. And I was chuckling, and I text Rob. I went, Rob, I haven't got a clue. Give us a clue, because I haven't got a clue how to stop this side. But we'll try and muster something up. But I thought he might have mentioned that on live commentary, but he didn't. So I'll be leaving a bit on him as well.
I can't go to Pep Guardiola's press conference later and say, by the way, your opposition manager hasn't got a clue how to stop you. You've got to give me something more than that to work with.
No, do it. I'm all right with it. I'm all right with that, Ian, because I haven't.
Well, listen, good luck. I hope you can win
I'll
for a
tell you
second
what
time.
We'll do is we'll look after the front 3 or front 4 or front 6 or front 8. So I don't think anybody's got an answer to the way they're playing at the moment, because they're playing that well, but we'll do our best, as we always will.
Brilliant stuff. See you soon.
Ciao, pal.
Hi, Chris.
Hiya.
If you haven't got a plan then, what does your team have to do?
Hope that they have an off day. Well, listen, we'll have some sort of plan. We'll have some sort of plan, but it comes from all angles, Paul, doesn't it? It comes from all angles. I think their goalkeeper could get in our team at the moment. He's that good a footballer.
You recently said that, in your view, Mourinho was box office. So how would you describe Guardiola?
Well, just incredibly talented, driven, focused. And listen, I'm not saying that my personal favourite is way above everybody else. It is some incredible managers in the division, especially at the top, and the best in Europe and the best in the world, in my opinion. That's the reason how tough the Premier League is. There's obviously you know, other people have their opinions about different leagues, but I think week in, week out, the quality of the division, the ruthlessness of the division, I think sometimes you have to take a step back. It doesn't usually happen in the other countries, how competitive it is. And I think the top managers will say that. I think Mikel Arteta mentioned something about us getting a result at Old Trafford, even though, you know, we weren't going into the backyard of the team that's at the top of the division at the time and thinking, well, if we play well, we get a win. We understand the challenges ahead of us. But, you know, listen, maybe that one is on for me for Mourinho and what he has previously won, and from a personality point of view. But from a winner's point of view, obviously the manager of Manchester City is incredibly successful in terms of what he's done in Spain, in Germany, and what he's done with Manchester City. Incredibly successful, and of course, why wouldn't we all at this football club have a huge amount of respect for that football club, what they've achieved, and the manager.
I remember he said some really nice things about you last season, saying that, you know, he could actually, or did, learn a few things from you and your style and what you brought to the Premier League, which for you must be a brilliant feeling. But how much do you study people like this, and have you managed to take anything away from the likes of Pep and others and what they've done, and try and apply it to what you're trying to do going forward? Yeah,
I mean, the obvious one is, you know, he's got an incredibly talented group of players to pick from, and the ability to sign at that football club as anybody would have, being manager of a top team in Europe. But he's still got to get them to play the way he plays, the variations that they play, the way they play, you know, the tactical nous he's got before, during games, how he assesses games during games. Of course, he's an incredibly talented man, an incredibly talented football man, and you see, you know, you see how passionate he is about the game, how enthusiastic about the game he is, and he wants to win, which obviously I talked about regarding the Spurs manager. So these top guys, you know, they're all on the same level, give and take. Little differences maybe in personality, but this is the reason that the manager came to England to win the Premier League, to win cups, to win trophies, to challenge in Europe, and to build an unbelievably talented squad, because that's what they've got. They've got unbelievably talented squad, and the club is an incredible club.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers, Paul.
Cheers, pal.
Any more?
No, is that it?
Go on then, Shieldsy. We're going to the